As you can have sort of the hands in the pockets, toe in the sand, gee, I'm just a student filmmaker type thing. Or you drop that and say, I'm kind of a big deal and you should want to be a part of me. When it comes to, there's in the work that we have done, again, to our case, and this dovetails into what we were going to talk about anyway, in the fundraising for documentaries, we have had two main avenues for that. Partnering with PBS then serves as a fiscal agent. So for foundations and companies to just give money away, they need you to be a nonprofit, which is very sort of involved. But if you're partnered with a PBS station or a university or somebody else who is a nonprofit, they can serve as the fiscal agent and then this will sound criminal, funnel the money to you. With it being a nonprofit, that does not mean you don't get paid. And Kara was warming up to this line that when you do the budget like that, that it is sort of a finite thing. And your time and you are a line item in it, getting paid for your time, but it stops there typically, depending on the deal that you might have. Whereas you'd go in the other direction or another direction and say, we're going to form our own company, an LLC, that, Student Film One LLC. And that you could have investors going into that, but with you owning 51%. So every time you sell it, let's say it becomes a big deal and you're going to sell it to HBO, and then you sell it to BBC, and you sell it to Al Jazeera, and it keeps going and going and going, then you keep getting taste from that. You keep getting residuals from that in that profit scenario. And it also could end up on PBS, but or a blue million other places that sell DVDs and that sort of thing. But
there's screenings.
There's screenings everywhere. You can set up a card table and have screenings out in front of your house and charge for it. Everybody has done really, really creative things in terms of fundraising and the promotion and distribution of films in that regard. So it's wonderful and terrifyingly the Wild West when it comes to some of those things. You look back at some of the famous things, like how you can go all the way back to like how the Matrix did their initial super creative rollout of their film and that was right when the internet was really starting to catch steam, and it made sense in that way. Or when Blair Witch did that sort of thing, and you watch those, they kind of really can't ever be done that way again, but it's sort of out of the box thinking when it comes to independent film on how to get your word and your film out there based on what the subject matter is going to be.
We have talked to somebody who you can hire to write grants for you because for a long time we were exploring that avenue, but it's just, we didn't want to do the grant writing because people go to school to be a grant writer.
People have PhDs in grant writing.
Anyone can do them, but they are very time consuming.
What's the two words?
And very difficult.
Strategic partnership.
So if you're looking, you can always find somebody who will work with you that you don't have to pay, but they are also using it for their portfolio.
Yeah, if they're building that up and not just every aspect of the film is good for that, except the lawyer. You should probably get a real lawyer.
Yeah. But when we were he went to film school and I went to the Art Institute, which isn't necessarily film school, but my degree is in video production from the Art Institute from a while ago. But it's because you're in school with other potential filmmakers, you rely on each other to help get as far as crew needs and all of that stuff, you kind of help each other out because you can all use the same piece as part of your portfolio. And I know they have programs and grants that will give you money to help make your students make their films, but I am not super familiar with them, but I know I've seen them definitely when I was had a binder like this thick of different grants that you could apply for, that I was like, oh, these are student ones. So they do exist.